Hey everyone, Harris Rubenstein here from NBA Weekly. The offseason is coming up fast, and that means there are plenty of NBA draft rumors to sort through, including a possible trade between the New York Knicks and the Los Angeles Clippers. So without further ado, let's get right into those rumors. All right, let's get into some NBA draft rumors. We start with a potential trade between the New York Knicks and the Los Angeles Clippers. We're going to give this one two crying Jordan heads. People are talking on this trade. Now, we've known for a while now that the Clippers could be looking to make a move with their two first-round picks. They have picks number 12 and 13, and they could be looking to make a move for number 9 overall with the New York Knicks. I think the Los Angeles Clippers are probably targeting someone like a Colin Sexton or a Trae Young. I also think that they're interested in Michael Porter Jr., which we'll get to a little bit later, but for now, I can't really imagine that the Clippers would, or that Michael Porter Jr., would be on the board at number 9 overall. So if the Clippers do want to make a move to possibly go up and get him, I think they would have to package up a pretty nice deal to maybe move into the top 5. All right, let's get to our next rumor. Is Luka Doncic going to return to Real Madrid? Now, this is an interesting rumor because we've heard some rumblings of this over the past couple of weeks. For now, we're going to keep this at only two crying Jordan heads. Again, people are talking. Now, he did have a quote saying, "I still have to win a Spanish Supercopa." Now, he just finished winning the EuroLeague MVP. They won the Final Four there as well, and he just won the Europe MVP as well, which are all 3 different trophies. There are some rumors that he could fall out of the top 3, so maybe Luka Doncic is trying to keep the door open for him to return to Spain just in case he doesn't end up getting assurance that he will be a top 3 pick this year. So I think there's a lot of things at play. Personally, I think he wants to come to the NBA, but all these rumors about him dropping out of the top 3, I think are starting to scare him away a little bit. Before we move on, let me take you through my rumor meter. 0 crying Jordans, it's a Mutombo finger wag. Get that stuff out of here. 1 crying Jordan, it's a small shred of truth. 2 crying Jordans, people are talking. 3 crying Jordans, it's pretty likely. And then 4 crying Jordans, bang. This is truth. This is fact. All right, let's continue on with our rumors. Let's get to number 3. No Warriors workout for LiAngelo Ball. 4 crying Jordan heads. This is fact. Now, originally we had heard from LiAngelo Ball himself that the Warriors were looking to work him out, but as of right now, the Warriors say the team has no plans to meet with him. As we know, LiAngelo spent the year overseas after leaving UCLA with that whole China sunglasses stealing thing, which was so dumb and so blatantly stupid. But it would be a huge surprise at this point if he even got drafted, even by his precious Lakers. So we'll see what happens to LiAngelo Ball, but no fact to him working out with the Golden State Warriors. All right, let's get to rumor number 4, talking about the Clippers again. Do they want Michael Porter Jr.? Well, this is an interesting rumor. We talked about this earlier with their possible trade with the New York Knicks. We're going to give this one 2 crying Jordan heads. People are talking. Now, this is an interesting one, seeing as I really do think that the Clippers want him. He would be a perfect fit in their offense. I think he's too similar to Tobias Harris as of right now, but if you can get Michael Porter Jr., you certainly move up to get him. I just think at this point he could go as high as number 2 overall in the upcoming draft, but as we know with Michael Porter Jr., he did miss most of the season with spinal surgery, a pretty bad injury for any young prospect trying to get to the NBA. I always have a theory, once a bad back, always a bad back. I think we could have a really interesting NBA career for Michael Porter Jr., but it could also be a complete disaster. We'll see what happens with Michael Porter Jr. Let's get to our next rumor. Is Donte DiVincenzo staying in the draft? Well, as of right now, we're going to give this one 4 crying Jordan heads. This is fact. Now, this is coming from The Athletic. They've heard this from Donte DiVincenzo. It is, quote, he is largely expected to remain in the draft, and also that they have told Villanova to basically clear out his locker. He is lightly a late first-round pick as of now. He also had the best combine of any bubble player. He was phenomenal. He ended up with the best vertical and also had an incredible shooting performance at the combine. So I think that Donte DiVincenzo is a surefire first-round pick. The real question is now, How high will he end up going? I think he'll go in the back third of the first round, but it still remains to be seen. All right, let's keep going here. Rumor number 6. Do the Blazers like the guard out of Miami? Now, you might be thinking when I say that, oh, are you talking about Lonnie Walker? No, I'm actually talking about Bruce Brown. So we're going to give this one 2 heads like we do with any team-to-player possible interest. So the Blazers are looking at Bruce Brown with their pick at number 24 overall. The team likes his defense and his size at the point guard position. He's 6'5" with a pretty crazy wingspan. They also like what he's able to do on the perimeter defensively. He had an okay year this year statistically, 11.4 points per game, 7.1 rebounds, and 4 assists per game. So would be an interesting pick for the Blazers. I personally think they have bigger needs than guard, but again, this is the Blazers. They've drafted pretty weird over the past couple of years. All right, let's get to rumor number 7. Do the Knicks like Mikal Bridges over Miles Bridges? We are going to give this one 3 crying Jordans. This is pretty likely. Now, I've reported this a couple different times on NBA Weekly that this is indeed the case with the New York Knicks. And it seems that ESPN is corroborating this, saying that the Knicks have Mikal ranked higher than Miles. Neither of them have worked out for the Knicks yet, so obviously things can still change. But as of right now, the New York Knicks like Mikal Bridges over Miles Bridges, which isn't terribly surprising to me. I think that Mikal Bridges is just an overall better fit for the New York Knicks. I think that he's a safer pick. I think Miles Bridges has better upside, but this is a Knicks team that isn't really looking for crazy upside right now. They need consistent, good basketball players with a defined role. Mikal Bridges fits that perfectly. He would come in, be the opening day starting small forward for the Knicks, and I think he would team up very well with Tim Hardaway out there on the wing. All right, let's get to rumor number 8. Are the Suns likely to keep the number 1 overall pick in the NBA draft? Last week we heard that they could be looking to trade the pick. Now GM Ryan McDonough says there is an overwhelming likelihood that they will keep the pick, so we're giving this one 3 crying Jordans. It is pretty likely. He said that the team will listen, but they love the elite talent at number 1 this year. As of right now, DeAndre Ayton and Luka Doncic, despite all the Suns fans who like to yell at me, are the likely picks right now at number 1 overall. I personally think it's going to end up being Doncic if he comes over. They hired his Slovenian national coach for crying out loud. So we'll see what the Suns do number 1 overall, but McDonough is saying that they will likely keep the pick. Let's get to our last rumor here. Is Miles Bridges going between picks 7 and 12? So this is a really interesting rumor. We don't really hear about specific ranges with players, but we're giving this one 3 crying Jordans. This is coming from The Athletic with an interview with Miles Bridges, who said he has been told that 7 to 12 overall is his range. He then went on to say, quote, "That's a great fit for me." As of right now, the teams that are between picks 7 and 12, it's the Cavs, the Knicks, the 76ers, the Hornets, and the Clippers. So I think this could end up being a really nice slot. I think any of those 5 teams would be really good for him. I like him at the Bulls, or 6 teams, excuse me. I like him with the Bulls. I like him with the Knicks or the 76ers. Him falling to the Clippers would be a surprise to me, but I think that he'd be a great pick either way. Personally, still think that the Knicks would be the best fit, but again, like I said earlier, I think that they're going to end up going with a safer player overall in Mikal Bridges, but 7 to 12 is definitely likely for Miles Bridges. I think that that's where he will end up getting picked on draft night. Good for him, going back to school and still coming out as a lottery pick. But that's going to do it for our NBA Draft Rumors Roundup. That's going to do for me today. Remember to subscribe to the Chat Sports YouTube page so you can get a notification whenever we have some fresh NBA draft content for you. And remember to watch NBA Weekly on Tuesday and Thursday mornings at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. But that's going to do for me. You can follow me on Twitter at SportsTeam for all your NBA news and updates. But for now, we'll see ya.